Good morning, Gemini. Welcome back to Path of Enlightenment Tarot. For those of you returning to the channel, welcome back. And for those of you who are new, welcome. I am Nicole. Gemini, this is going to be your May 2024 reading. This will be for your Sun, your Moon, your Rising, and your Venus cross watcher. If that is you, welcome to the channel as well. Getting the May readings out has been a slow-moving process, Gemini, but here we are, right? Divine timing, I think, is always at play for the messages that need to come out. So with that, Sun, Moon, Rising, Venus. I said all those things already. There's where my mind is today. Anyhow, I hope you guys are doing well and fantastic. Thank you for all the ways that you support the channel by liking, subscribing, commenting, and sharing. Those of you who have donated to the channel, thank you so very much. And those of you who have booked personal reads, thank you for your, your trust and your faith in me, as I always say. So thank you for that. Gemini, we're going to get straight into your messages. We're going to see what's going on. I will tell you, the last couple of days and the last couple of readings I've done, the energy around it doesn't seem to be for a prolonged period of time. It's kind of like these initial changes or whatever is going on for you specifically in this moment. So how this comes out, I'm not real sure, but we're going to see what Spirit's got to say about all of that, and we'll go from there, right? So that's where we'll leave that at. All right, guys, let's get straight to your messages. I don't know why I feel like I'm forgetting to say something to you all. So, I don't know. We'll see. We'll see what that's about. Who knows? All right, Spirit, for the sign of Gemini, what does Gemini need to know mid-May? What's going on for Gemini? Oh, okay. First words I'm hearing from Spirit are choppy waters. So, and then denial comes out. 5, talk about change. There's that 5. Spirit is saying universal change. This could be the way that you're starting to perceive other people in your life. Spirit is saying new connections that are coming in, but there are also ones from the past that I feel like you're kind of leaning back into, trying to decide whether or not to stay, whether or not to go. I do feel like there are things energetically, Gemini, that are holding on to you, and same could be said in the flip of that. Hope. I would say to you, if you've got people around you, and I've kind of seen this, I think if I remember correctly, it was you guys, where you've got people who tend to kind of play these games, right? And Gemini, for you, with the duality there, right? It kind of, I can't say that it's alarming to me, because it's what's in your energy in general, right? So there's the high sides, the low sides of things. But I do feel like you could be really dealing with people that you had higher hopes for, better hopes for, things in your life that you had more hope for, that may feel like it's always falling short somehow. Like, why can't I get past this point of like this breakthrough or this next thing or a completion of something, is how this feels to me. And I do feel like for a lot of you, you are remaining hopeful that everything will come together just as it needs to. But there's also, Spirit is saying, the need to get realistic about how people show up for you. So, whatever that means, I'm not quite sure. And as I say that, there's the conclusions card behind hope and playful. It's constantly playing with this idea of whether or not something here needs to end, and denying yourself the right to acknowledge the things that are bittersweet. Things, people, situations, jobs, family, career, whatever it is, they tend to come into our life. And I think I said this for Scorpio, for a reason, for a reason and a season. But there's something very much, Gemini, it's like you may get into something that feels really good, and you're stepping into that, and you start to make some forward progress, and then it just stops. There's this big feeling of a lot of being propelled forward, and then something just stopping again. And it's kind of, maybe the romantic side of you, the dreamer side of you continues to hold on to these illusions that, if I just hold on to hope, if I just hold on to faith, something is going to turn around, something is going to change, something is going to shift, that is going to propel me forward through, it's like crossing that finish line. And it's, I don't know why I always compare things to marathons, because I sure as shit don't run them. But, you know, it's running that marathon and getting to the last 3 feet of it, and you run into a brick wall and you can't get to that, you know, that ribbon, that crossing, that finish line. It kind of feels like that it's always falling short somehow. So we'll see here as we go what else comes up for this. All right, Spirit, for Gemini, what else does Gemini need to know in regards to this energy that's coming through? Spirit is saying a road less traveled, to traverse the road less traveled. And as I say that, there's footprints. You know, those footprints are traveling. They're moving forward or trying to. Look, wish and hope. Wishbone, affirmations, hope, certainty. I'm going to say this to you. If you feel like there is a certain part that you are, you know, it's like you have this gut knowing, Gemini, that something is not going to progress, but yet you are like, I'm going to hold on to hope that maybe this is going to turn around. It's kind of like Spirit is saying to you, what hope do you have for yourself? Like, are you seeing things through the lens of reality, or are you seeing them through a lens of romanticism? Now, I want to clarify this in the sense that Spirit is addressing romanticism of anything does not have to be a romantic love interest. It can be romanticizing a job, fantasizing about a move, fantasizing about all of these different things, and romanticizing that in your mind, right? So it's like, be aware of what it is in your life that you are romanticizing. Is it your finances? Is it your job? Is it a friend? You know, it can be so many different things. So don't tie it to necessarily a person, but what is it that you are living in a state of illusion around? Because that's the big point here, okay? So these, you know, talking about that road less traveled, you know, it's kind of like Gemini, you may be feeling like you've kind of gotten into this way of following the pack, following, you know, it's like, most recent thing that I can think of because of my kiddo, the Stanley mug thing, right? Oh my God, we've got to have a Stanley mug. We've got to spend $50 on a cup, which blows my mind. It's what everybody else is doing, so let's do it too. You know, it's you needing to change your direction. It's you picking the direction of the road less traveled that is going to be more beneficial to you than maybe even Spirit is saying following the advice. Maybe you're going to friends or family for this advice, and you're talking about these dreams and these ideas around something that you're like, oh, I really, 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 really want this. Okay, fair enough, right? You know, some of you, Spirit is saying, you know, like buying a motorcycle or a car, some kind of sportsy something or another. But is it feasible? You know, and I'm not knocking manifestation practices and things like that by any means, but does it make sense? Like, what is the reasoning for what it is that you are wanting to? Because understand that the denial of some manifestations is God's way of protecting you. So it's kind of like, I feel like Spirit is trying to shift you, move you to see something differently, to understand that this sense of denial, that you constantly feeling that resistance, there we go, constantly feeling that state of resistance is coming that way for a reason. Could be dealing with a Leo, 5 again. So got 4 cards out here with numbers, and 2 of those are 5s. It's kind of, this could be a little bit of a pride thing. I'm not going to lie. This is the only way that I'm going to be happy. This is the only way that I'm going to feel successful. This is the only way that I'm going to be happy with the direction that I'm going. And honestly, Gemini, this feels to me like with this disgruntled, I'm going to call him a disgruntled lion, he doesn't really look all that happy. He's a little agitated, right? It's kind of like, you know, you ever have those days where you just, I don't know, something feels off, you can't quite get comfortable, you don't know where you're going, you don't know what's going on, you just feel yuck, right, like the ick. That's kind of how he feels to me, and that is his face is pierced with, and he's annoyed. Pay attention to the feelings. They're kind of directing me, which is a little strange, to this one deck, and I think it says pivot on that card. And it talks about if things don't feel right, if you're being forced to deal with some resistance to something, how can you pivot? How can you change your direction? How can you look at something through a different lens or open yourself up to a different way of being that's going to be more successful? I kind of feel like that with this Leo card, there's a little bit of confusion too. It may be like, why is this not working? How is this not turning out the way that I thought it would? Why can't I quite reach that victory and success that I want in a particular situation? And you look at that crown's not quite been placed on his head. It's the idea is floating around above, right? Like, boy, wouldn't it be nice if that crown was mine, or this success was mine, or this person was mine. But it's not quite there yet, right? And I do feel like you're constantly putting in some sort of effort, but honestly, Gemini, it feels like it's more in the mind space than it is in the heart space. So if there's a disconnection between the heart and the mind in whatever this is for you that you're romanticizing, it's all thoughts. It's all coming in from that space of, what this would make me feel good. Without it, I don't feel well. In order to manifest, you have to feel it, breathe it, sleep it into existence. Everything that you do, you're imagining, I say imagining, but you are creating a world in which it already exists. And with this, it's like, it's always coming up short somehow. I think that shortness here, Gemini, is within the heart. And I also feel like it's the need to shift what it is that you want. How can you pivot around something that is not working? Where can you critique it? Where can you fine tune it? Because something here is not quite coming in the way you had hoped. This distractions card underneath, this may pertain to home, family, foundations, your security, your stability, your successes. Again, card of Cancer, you could be dealing with a Cancer, doesn't have to be. The way I feel about this, Gemini, is more so the fact that you've got Cancer and Leo. Those are the two signs that come after you in the zodiac wheel. So you have 3, 4, and 5 here. Those numbers could be very specific for you. You may be seeing those numbers a lot. It's also like with your season coming up before long, this may be that pivot point for you to reevaluate your goals, reevaluate your direction, reevaluate what has been withheld from you, and again, for your own protection, for your divine guidance, whether you know it or not. So it's like you could feel like your manifestations are on hold right now about something specific. I don't want to say to you, abandon ship, right? But at the same time, how can you switch up the way you're viewing things, switch up the way you're wanting things? It's almost like a longing that comes in with this energy. All right, Spirit, let's get the past, present, and future for Gemini, please. I may sneeze. My allergies have been a little wonky again. Knight of Pentacles, Page of Wands. Just wanting to have fun and be, it's like, Gemini, I really feel like you're trying to step into that very beautiful place that is you, that creative, fun-loving, energetic, happy sense of self that you are, the crazy, the fun, the exciting things. And that's kind of been, the Spirit is saying the focus of it all is how great this would be if, I don't know, we'll see. Knight of Cups. Could be romanticized ideas, but I'm getting with that Knight of Cups when I think about that. When you look at the, what deck is it? There's a deck, but anyhow, but it is the romanticism of things. That's what I talked about. He's sitting there waiting with a wish, an offer, something. It's kind of like needing to wear your heart on your sleeve, but in the right places. And then you've got Judgment. The choices. I feel like, releasing your expectations around how, where, and who things play out with is going to be very important for you to move on and move forward to get across that finish line. There's this, again, this period of waiting, a period of holding on, Ten of Swords, and the present energy feeling like, again, it's not come to fruition here. Seven of Pentacles. The card of forever waiting for something to resolve, forever waiting and putting faith into something that, I don't even feel like it's faith necessarily, Gemini. It's just kind of like that, it just gives me that vibe of, you know, Knight of Cups, Page of Cups, where this illusionary energy of, well, this would be nice. And if you had held out emotionally for something and it didn't come through, that doubt has started to creep in throughout this. So, and then there comes the Death card. I mentioned Scorpio, there comes Scorpio there, Queen of Pentacles. Gemini, there is a Spirit is saying a strict need to focus on your gains for yourself rather than the gains of others, whatever that means to you. Queen of Pentacles, Ten of Cups, Six of Wands. They're telling me the Six of Wands are coming out in reverse. When it comes to the knowledge and information that you are gathering from other resources, I don't know what that means for you specifically. Discern that information. You know better than I do. So I'm going to say to you, though, if you're questioning something that you've read, something, it's almost like contractual is what I want to say to you. Contractual. Where, you know, let's just say, you know, you got offered a job. Initially, they said, you know, it's be $50,000 a year. Throw a number out there, right? And then once you go to read the fine print to something, and you realize that it's 45, and you only get that extra 5 if this, and this. And it's like, you may have these talks around it, conversations around something about it, and they put in a, what do they call that? A caveat kind of thing, right? Like, well, if, you know, the plot twist here thickens. Yes, but only under these circumstances can you get that, right? It's like, you know, other jobs, you know, maybe if you're in hospitality or something and they say, oh yeah, it's nothing for you to make $500 a day here. Well, you find out that, oh, it's nothing to make $500 a day on only the holidays, you know? So when someone walks into something, it's like, where's the proof of this guarantee that you talk about? Is it all the time? Is it for good? Is it just for now? It's, you know, and it's kind of like, I feel like your manifestations are being based off of some kind of information either you've been waiting on or some kind of information that's been given to you that hasn't had a whole lot of truth with that Ten of Swords. You know, and it's, you know, it could have been, Spirit is saying it could be something as simple as TikTok. You know, it's like, the 5 points of success is only if this, and this. And it's like all of a sudden you took that information and you believed it to have some kind of truth to it. But, so you're just sitting back in the wings here, wishing, hoping, affirming. Maybe with that person, maybe with that job, maybe with that situation, that's not where this happens at. It's going to be somewhere else, with someone else, through another career path. Like, there's something with this, that there's a resistance of something is not lining up and something needing to change. You being willing to pivot through the things that are not lining up for your purpose. Okay, so it's a very repetitive message, but it's, again, everything is falling short when it comes to whatever this is for you. So, Knight of Cups, what is this? Queen of Pentacles coming out twice. Four of Swords. Gemini, this could also be you feeling, you know, the Queen of Pentacles, she's very valuable, she's very worthy, she's very mature, she's very grounded, she's very stable. Someone, I'm getting this idea of a higher authority above you, which is a little odd for the Queen of Pentacles. But they're holding on to the tangible things, right? The resources, the investments. But withholding or putting a pause on your manifestations. that there is, you know, a need for you to review these things. You know, if you're coming up here as the Queen of Pentacles, so I've got 2 of them here. There could be just, let's just say there's a position available at work, right? There's 2 candidates for that position. Somebody may not have told you, oh yeah, you're a shoo-in for this. There's no way you wouldn't get this, not knowing that there's somebody else that's vying for the same thing. There's something here again that is just not aligning with what it is that you've manifested in this pause period that is happening. Whether it is to get you to the Queen of Pentacles or maintain a Queen of Pentacles or whatever this is for yourself, there's got to be a change, a review of those manifestations. And you know, it's like maybe you even feel like you've gotten to a point of being the Queen of Pentacles. You want to get to that king, right? Or that emperor or empress status. It's always falling short somehow. This Knight of Cups is, you know, I just feel like someone making you promises that have struck an emotional chord within you that created this mental process that says, this is what I want. And you just going for it, and now it's like you're caught up in your head over it. 10 of Swords, 2 of Swords. Not wanting, Fool, to take the new risk and take the option. You know, in order to start new, you're going to have to walk away from something here, Gemini. And I think that it's important that you recognize that. See, 6 of Pentacles, the 9 of Swords, the Moon, that illusion, right? The 8 of Cups, the Fool. I think that there's a point here where you're starting to examine 2 of Swords coming out sideways, that something here is not sitting right with you anymore. It hasn't sat right in a while, but you kept trying, you kept going, you kept pushing forward, trying to persevere through this. It's like in due time, Spirit is saying, it's like finding the strength and the courage to address that these have been disappointments and letdowns. Like some of you could be waiting on final word around something specific, and it's kind of like you've put yourself into hermit mode and you're waiting, going, what's going to happen? Is this the way it's going to be? What's new? Like what's win, what? And it's starting to like take shape. The way I feel this is like you may be feeling this as a disappointment. You know, a heartbreak, a loss. It's not a loss. Like, I feel like this message is like, Gemini, your manifestations, this is not a loss for you. This is moving you to your manifestations. That card, the blah, 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 blah. The Death card, rebirth, right? This is rebirthing new ideas, new creative endeavors. This is a stepping in to transform and transmute the energy that has been, it's been deceptive with that 10 of Swords. It's let you down, it stabbed you in the back, it's whatever. It's Spirit is trying to show you, if this is, Spirit is saying specifically 2 to 3 months, whatever this last 2 to 3 months have been healed for you, that were falling short, where you just kind of kept holding on to hope, holding on to faith, holding on to an idea. March specifically could have been very important for you. It's time to let those things go. Spirit is pushing you to pivot, and I feel like you've been in this pause mode for some time going, well, maybe. It'll happen. It'll happen. I know it's going to happen. Is that I know it's going to happen coming from your gut, your intuitive ability, or is it coming from the mind going, I'm going to play tricks on you? That's what I want, so I'm getting fixated on just that total outcome, right? What is this? Whoa. There comes that Knight of Cups again, 3 of Pentacles, the 7 of Swords. It's like it's going to take somebody to come in and Spirit is saying politely tell you no. And you've got the 7 of Pence on the bottom, and there's that Judgment card now for the second time. I talked about that Page of Cups. There it is, 5 of Pentacles and the Justice card. It's like it takes somebody coming in and saying to you, well, you know, Gemini, we really like you, and we think you'd be a great fit for this job. But, you know, we just think Patty is going to do so much. She lives closer. It's almost like they're apologizing, but passively, and it's like, you know they're full of shit. You know that there's been things going on behind the scenes in relation to another dynamic to this that there's a reason. So you may be feeling like somebody else is getting picked for something that you're not getting picked for. But this is meant to move you to a direction that is going to be far more suited for you. It's almost, again, this idea of feeling like you're coming up short, that you're always the one who is waiting. I will say to you, make sure you're not sitting in victim mode, right? Like, why is this happening to me? Why am I not getting ahead? Why are these the things that are happening? Gemini, why is not the thing? Why is this happening? It's, what is this trying to teach you? What are you going to gain on the other side once you create this pivot point and go, this isn't for me, right? What this is not coming in for me for a reason. Where am I supposed to go? And I do feel like that Spirit is moving you into happiness, your ultimate wish fulfillment in relation to the heart rather than just into the head or the idea. It's like someone selling you a dream and you buy it and then nothing happens. It's like timeshares, right? Oh, you can spend da-da-da-da, and then you get into a timeshare and, when you want to go, you can't pick your weeks and shit's all messed up. They've sold you some kind of an illusion. They've left out some details. And you have based, it's like you're taking all of the good and skipping the bad. And going, well, it's going to be okay. Your manifestations are going to require movement from you in a completely different direction than where you've been. You have to start to get comfortable with that. I almost feel like there's an uncomfortable feeling with that energy that's like, well, I don't know that I want to do that. I don't like the way that feels to me. Spirit's asking you to get comfortable getting uncomfortable right now. You're going to have to, in order to create these hopes and wishes and affirmations in a positive direction for yourself. So abundance is going to see it. Positive mindset, manifest gratitude, bliss, and blessings. I do feel like those things are coming, for you. But the ones who have sold you the illusion of these things are the ones that are falling short. And it's leaving you feeling like you're coming up short in the long run. So commitment, wedding rings, union, marriage, soul connection, everlasting love and devotion. And with that, or outdated thinking, conditioning, replaying events over in your head. It's like you keep going back to news or information, word, or what you thought would be confirmation of something, and going, well, there's a potential for this to work out. This was supposed to be. It's almost, again, this illusionary energy. But Spirit is asking you to commit yourself to something that's going to be long-term rather than for the short-term gains. And I feel like your ideas around this will start to shift once you realize that there's another way, that maybe that specific company, that specific person, that specific whatever, it's outdated. It's like you've already, they're calling it like a timestamp kind of thing. Like, this old thing, its expiration is up. Like maybe that company in 6 months is going to fall apart. Maybe that person in 6 months is going to pick up and leave. There's a reason you're being guided to go a different direction. And it's going to take you into things that are loving and surprising and soul fulfilling for you. Don't resist the shutdown on something. Just accept it. It's coming into a space of acceptance is what you need here, Gemini. All right. Advice. Reassess. As I'm saying, reassess where your happiness is, because again, I feel like you've been sold a $1 million dream and it's, you're not getting that. Look at this. Abundance. Reassess. You've had abundance here twice, Gemini. What you're being led to is happiness. It is success. It is the material gain. It is good things that are coming in. But it's going to require you to open up your mindset to a different way, right? It's realigning yourself with yourself, not based upon what someone else has told you. And, last bit of advice, step back and surrender. Don't force this, don't, there's a company and they, of course you want to call and check in, hey, I was in for this interview, what's the latest? It's been 5 days. But don't force it. Don't force whatever this is. Take a step back and allow things to kind of play out just as they need to for you, right? Allow these changes to happen. It's like, again, if you're exhausted, here it is. You're being asked to let go of your need to control each part of your life and surrender to the universe. Control is an illusion. I talked about this illusion the entire time, right? And it's exhausting to try to hold on to it. Let it go and allow yourself to enjoy the relief that comes from doing so. You know, it's exhausting you. It's wearing you out, but you still keep holding on to that little tinge of, oh, but what if? What if this other direction, that road less traveled, is going to create massive abundance in your life? Because I truly think it is, Gemini. It's like while you're sitting there waiting on someone to make a decision, while you're waiting, you know, for them to offer you that cup, while you're waiting for them to give you more, it's like you wanting something or someone to invest in you the way you want to invest into it. And Spirit is asking you to take the road less traveled. Okay? So there you go. It's coming for you, but you have to change your mindset. All right? Gemini, I hope this helped. Sending you so much love. Take care of yourselves. Like, share, subscribe, comment. Personal reads are open and available. That information is found in the description box below, as well as the About section of the page. Wishing you all the very best, and I will see you soon. Bye.